Okay, let's get the meeting started. We're gonna call the meeting to order. We need to have a roll call. Can we do the roll call?
Oh, sorry.
Want to do the roll?
Nick,
Yes, here.
Sue,
Here.
Mike.
Yes, here. Okay, well, Mike, I'm gonna turn this over to you.
So this section is taking the old general commercial district and putting all the uses within the IC district. And then we're taking out some of the other uses that used to be in the GC. But we're just combining the districts. We already did all this work before. We have passed all of it. But then when I went to regional planning, there's some turnover in personnel. Things got mixed, and then when it all came back to us, we double checked it, and I ran it past Mark, and it says, well, since we passed everything from just doing this, we'd rather off safe, let's just run it all back through the areas that we missed. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make a motion that we,
We can vote at the regular meeting.
okay,
this is just to
right,
give you
right,
context.
right, you're right,
And then
okay.
just, I don't know if we have the record, but just no public present for the public hearing.
So it's just, this will just be one resolution, right?
That's one.
When we do it?
Yeah, we have 3 public hearings today, so we'll end this one, have one at 7:40 and one at 7:50.
So this is just the,
Yeah, this is the 7:30 one.
okay, so this is the, okay, I see. Okay,
This is just tightening up the book a little bit.
sounds good. Okay, well then, Nick,
I'd like to, with no public present, I'd like to make a motion to end this public hearing.
Second.
Motion adjourned.
You get a roll call.
Roll call, Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
yes. Okay. God, we could have had them like 10 till 8. Roll call?
Roll call, Nick?
Here,
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'd like to, before we get into the discussion, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll second that.
Time to start at 7:40 a.m., not 7:45.
Okay, I'm seconding that.
Roll call, Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes. Okay, Mike, turn it over to you.
Thanks. It's updating zoning resolution, appendix E to reflect all former GC district uses being moved into the IC district.
I make a motion to accept that.
This is just the public hearing.
Oh, can't do that, that's right. Too early. Gotta have a cup of coffee.
Okay, so it's a public hearing. Is there any public comments on this? Okay, we'll let it reflect. There's no public comments on this. And then I'll make a motion that we end this meeting.
Second that motion?
Roll call, Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I know that.
Next meeting at 7:50.
Okay, good.
Okay, 7:50. Let's open up this public hearing. Roll call, please.
Nick,
Here.
Sue,
Yes,
Mike,
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Mike.
Yeah, this is an update for the zoning resolution, appendix C, to reflect the districts where medical marijuana distribution facilities are conditionally permitted, in the IC district. That's, just one of the items that was left out. It's in the code that Matt listed. It's in the appendix.
Okay. It's a public hearing, so is there any public questions on this resolution?
well, it's been through regional planning
Mhm.
and it's been through all of our steps here before it comes here.
Right, yep.
So I think it's been really fully discussed.
Okay, well,
We
there's no,
understand that, yeah.
I'll make a motion to let the record reflect there's no public comments. Well, not a resolution, but just, so I'll make a motion then, we end this meeting.
I'll second that.
and roll call, Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
adjourn.
Close the board meeting.
8:00, let's go ahead and get this meeting started. It always says call to order, and that's what I did. Okay. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, Pastor.
Good morning. Heavenly Father, we again thank you for this time of year, Lord. We enjoy the beauty of all the trees changing. Of course, we know it's a sign of the trees dying, that death is necessary for new growth in the spring. So, Lord, let it be a challenge to us that all the difficult times we go through and the times we face, Lord, are just there to strengthen us and produce new life in the future for us. Lord, we just pray that you just have your way in this meeting today. Pray that you be with our country in a very special way. It's been a long time in battle with morality and everything else. I just pray, God, that you would just have your way in this election and give us all the patience to continue to work together one with the other. We pray that everything that's said and done today would be for the good of Brimfield Township. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Well, John was here at the meeting. We sent him home because he looked bad, so we want to stay healthy. Hope you feel better, John. Do we have any announcements or correspondence from the board?
I have an announcement per se. I've really had a lot of thought about this, and many of you know that I'm the liaison to the board for admin. And so what I am looking at doing is beginning the first Monday of each month to have a get together, have like a team meeting for like 1 hour of the employees, that we can all get together and work as a team and let our township go forward. And I think if I know more about what's going on, instead of going to each individual person, it's better if all of us are together and can really get into things and think about it and make the best decisions we can for the
I think
rest.
that's a great idea, Sue.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
Just want to let you know.
Nick, you got anything?
Not this time.
Okay. We have no scheduled meeting guests. I'm going to make a motion that I have reviewed and I have signed the minutes. We had
We'll do them as two separate.
two separate ones.
So the first motion will be for the 15th.
Was it the 15th?
15th, yes.
Okay, well, I'm making the motion for the 15th.
I'll second that.
Any questions?
Nope, they look good.
Roll call?
We'll call Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay, and then Nick, you remember the date? It was the one,
The emergency meeting was on the 24th.
24th. Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the meeting of the 24th. I need a second, Sue?
Yes.
Okay, roll call?
Nick,
Abstain?
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay, now to the agenda. Now, Craig, we're going to update the agenda?
Yeah, just, if you just add to the board's executive session for what we discussed.
Okay,
So we'll just do one executive session and consider permanent public employee for PDC Empire.
okay. I will second that.
Is there any other changes to the agenda?
Yes, then we'll add a second executive session at the end for the board to consider compensation of public employees.
Okay, so that'll be a second motion then.
Yes.
So let's roll call the first one.
Well, no, it's all one motion. I could go amended the agenda.
Okay, but that'll be the, okay,
So you do all the amendments and then do it as one roll.
okay.
So that would be after fiscal office executive session, to consider compensation of a public employee.
Consider. Okay,
Chief, do you guys have to leave early? I mean, don't you have
Yes.
something you gotta do?
We
Okay,
have to be at the meeting at 9.
okay,
okay.
That's why we're doing their executive session early, so we'll have two different executive sessions.
okay.
But if we're moving right along, we should be fine.
We
Okay.
should be okay.
Roll call Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that I have reviewed the purchase orders.
Second?
Roll call Sarah.
Yes.
It's hard trying to pay attention and write and read and all of that. Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Mike?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that I have approved the warrants and I will sign them after the meeting.
I will second that.
Call Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Mike?
Yes.
And there's nobody signed up for public comment.
Oh, are there any safety concerns?
No.
And Holly, you got mine on there, right? What I called you about?
I did not add it, so let's amend for under, you want to do it under safety?
You know, I'll just do it under safety
Yeah.
concerns. Hey, Dave, I don't know what you can do. I know we've done this probably once before. We need to get another traffic study down there at 18 and Sandy Lake Road. There's just way too many accidents there. So what would it take for us to get another traffic study done?
No, you'd have to contact Portage County engineers and talk with them and Larry Jenkins.
Okay, because I'll give them a call. I want to talk to them because there's got to be records for it. I mean, they just had an older lady was coming across 18 and she kept waiting and waiting and she went out and then a white pickup truck clobbered her again. Sent the truck flying into Denny Linton's truck that he just got repaired. But it's a nonstop occurrence. I know they can't put a street light there, but I wonder if there would ever be a possibility of flashing lights or anything. What's your thoughts?
Probably not. They probably won't put flashing lights because they've been evaluating it. Every time we send stuff over, they've been evaluating for different ways. But at one point, they made a mention of no traffic light, no flashing lights. So now I don't know if they might do something with the stop signs different or something, or.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mike, is it people are running the stop sign is the issue?
No, just people aren't seeing people crossing over. You know, remember that's where he had that fatality?
Right. Because I say those stop signs, I was talking with another village, Magnolia, and they put these new spinners on top of some of their stop signs that are harder to see. And it was a cheap investment, and basically the wind causes them to spin and they're reflective. And they said it's caught people's attention and slow down or stop the traffic at those intersections.
Huh.
They're like $150 a stop sign.
See,
So
we
if it
don't,
was a stop sign issue, that would be a solution.
see, whatever we do, I mean, it would have to be from the county because 18's a county road and Sandy Lake's a county road.
But if it's that cheap of an investment, maybe they'd be willing to do something.
Yeah, well, I'll call Larry Jenkins and just,
Well, Larry might have a different viewpoint too.
I know there's got to be, Roy, I mean, you got a lot of traffic statistics. Do you have with the wrecks and stuff up there?
Yeah, but I think Department of Public Safety, I think might be able to pull that data.
I mean, do you think it's an issue or,
I guess I'm gonna look at the data and see what it shows.
okay. Would you copy me in that or, I would copy the whole board if you don't mind.
Yeah, you should check on that.
Okay, thank you.
You will.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get the meeting started. Okay, Roy?
Thanks, Mike. Just a couple of items for the board this morning. As the board's already aware, we had the Asher contract review this morning at 9 o'clock at the fire department. Again, just a reminder, our Thanksgiving Day Food event is taking place on Saturday, November 9th at Walmart from 10 to 6. One business, our shoppers account date has been set. That's going to be taking place on Saturday, December 14th, starting at 9:30 in the morning that day. And we have one item for board approval this morning. I am requesting approval to purchase a purchase order to Park Ford in an amount not to exceed $24,232 for the purchase of a used 2021 Ford Explorer utilizing police department funds. A little background on the vehicle piece for the board. This vehicle would be driven by Captain Atkins, traditionally the car that Chris has driven has always been taking the market car out of our fleet. What we'd like to do is get away from having to take a mark out of our fleet and keeping that other vehicle in our mark fleet. It gives us a little bit of latitude, a little bit of wiggle room in the event we have a crash or one of our cars goes down for a significant amount of time. It allows us to free up keeping that extra marked car in the fleet. So this vehicle will be an unmarked car for Captain Atkins to drive.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase order to Park Ford in an amount not to exceed $24,232 for the purchase of a 2021 Ford Explorer.
Second,
Now, Roy, will that have all the, the radio and everything on the inside? Just no lights or anything?
There's not on the top deck. It would have interior lights inside, but not on the top deck.
Will we
Okay,
have an additional purchase order to outfit it then?
So that's one to follow. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm good with it. I think it's a good move to keep that extra car in the fleet like we talked about. So,
okay.
You shop with a cop at Walmart?
Yes. We're gonna be meeting here at the community center first with our kids, and then we'll be here at over Walmart.
Okay, roll call.
Roll call, Nick?
yes,
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have for this morning.
When are they gonna announce the new Christmas thing that Rochelle's putting on?
I'm just bringing up details on that right now.
Okay,
I'll bring it up and get that date to you guys for the next meeting, so you're aware of that, and you can publicize that.
that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you, Roy. Okay, Chief, Raleigh?
Okay, kind of repeating what Roy just said, we have our ASHA training at 9 this morning. That's our follow-up to the active shooter training we did a couple weeks ago. Just updates, 2,500 levy flyers have been distributed by the off-duty firemen. That's the final push for our EMS renewal levy. I'll put out another couple updates on that. And number 2 there, we'll wait on that one. And then I just need board approval for the fire engine repair because it exceeds the $5,000 mark.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the fire engine repairs at $5,733.02.
And I'll second that. And you said that's for your main fire truck, right?
Yeah.
1213 or is it?
We have some repairs on an annual maintenance.
And so some of that was emergency repairs, right?
It was
Okay.
Craig, how old is that truck?
10.
That's it? Okay. It's been a good truck, right?
Yeah, our other one is, not that you brought it up to talk about, we're pushing 27 years on that one. So that's coming up very soon that I have to discuss with the board.
And
Wow.
that's the one that I have the concern about, 'cause it's got the 3-year build, Mike, so we almost need to start thinking about funding and how we get that in there, 'cause if it's 27, we're gonna be 30 years on that truck before we can have a new one if we order it
That'll be
today.
vintage. Maybe the Kelso house will take it again. Okay,
Yeah, so that'll be a discussion to come very soon. But that's all I have, and then just leave that.
thank
We have a
you.
motion on the floor.
Roll call, Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
How long is it gonna take to get it repaired? I mean, is it gonna be out of service then?
This is already done.
Okay,
I just-
good.
I had, some of these repairs that we do, we have to take it in, and we don't know the price till it's afterwards. So this is one of those ones.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, well now we're gonna have to adjourn to executive session
Yes.
to consider the appointment of a public employee. Let's see. This day, 10:30, trustee Mike Kostenski moved to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121-22G for the purpose considering the following matters. Appointment.
And that should be it.
Motion was second by,
I will second that motion.
okay, roll call?
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Came for executive session.
Just gonna run upstairs.
to hire Beth Crana as a full-time officer with the Brimfield Police Department. Start date is to be determined.
And I'll second that.
Roll call, Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Yes.
Coming out of executive session, I'd also like to authorize the fire department to offer 2 conditional employments at the starting rate pending approval of background checks. And a second for that motion.
Second.
No names will be released until background checks have officially been accepted. Will be given.
Roll call, Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Those FD spots are replacements of 2 officers who had left, moved on to the position. So it'll get us back up to full staffing from both departments. So thank you for both.
That's like your Christmas present.
Good. Yeah, you guys are good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, admin, Holly?
All right, so we were supposed to be meeting in the town hall this week. There were a couple delays. So our meeting date for the town hall is pushed to next week. Life safety testing was completed yesterday. Electrical inspection is to be completed today, and then final inspection for temporary occupancy to be completed tomorrow. So as long as all of those go well, we should be ready to move in next week. Additionally, work is continuing on the new board meeting desk. We are anticipating that first week in December that the room will be ready to hold our first trustee meeting in the new town hall. So that's December 11th, that would be.
That's great.
One item up for discussion, so the wallpaper in that board meeting room, they had the installer come out and take a look at it. The architect raised some concerns that it didn't quite look like it was supposed to in this, and the reason why they chose it. It looks more like wallpaper and panels. So they are bringing out the actual, I think, manufacturer next. One of the discussions I want to bring up is if the manufacturer comes out and says, yeah, so one of the things they think is maybe the dye was off in the rolls that we got, which is why it almost looks like they're panels. So the conversation is if they determine that there was something off in that wallpaper, do we want to just keep it and get a credit on our bill? Do we want them to take it down and redo all of it? So that's an item I just want to discuss with you.
I looked at it, I mean, it's wallpaper.
Yeah,
I can't even tell you what color my rooms are painted at home.
yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I feel like we just take the credit, and if we wanna fix it in the future, we can. It's just, if we have them fix it, it's gonna delay this project even more, it's gonna take longer. I feel, and that's just my opinion, but I think we live with what we have and take the credit, and we can make improvements if we choose to down the road.
Yeah, I don't know that the credit will be even on the table, but in talking with our consultants and contractor, that could be something they offer up. In my opinion, I don't notice it. I mean, you look at it, it doesn't look hideous. It doesn't, look like something's wrong.
It looks better
It just
than-
looks different than what they anticipated it looking like. So if it comes to a point where they offer us a credit because there was something wrong with the dye in it, then, I would agree. It's the effort of taking it down, patching the walls, whatever would need to be done to put it back up. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know that it doesn't look bad to me. It looks like wallpaper.
Well, I know, I went and took a good look at it, where for the 2 pieces come together and there's a seam, it's glued in there that it's level. That's not roughed up at all. I mean, they match. But then as the light shines on it, it's got like 3 different shades of the same color. And if you look at it as being a panel, then I think it could be accepted as being a panel. But if you look at like when you wallpaper in your home and you look at it and you don't see any seams and all the little things come together, that doesn't work. So it just depends how you look at it.
So we'll see where it goes, but we just wanted to start the conversation just in case they were to
Yeah,
come
that's
back and say,
good.
yeah, there's definitely something off with it and we're willing to issue you a credit. It does, it just kind of looks like panels, but otherwise it looks nice.
Yeah, I thought it looks good. I mean, it'll look better with the table installed, but
Yeah, I think once everything gets in that room, you won't even notice.
When she's in that room, she's up
Absolutely.
in the background.
So another item, it does appear in recent Kent Jet meetings, there was some discussion about numbers being provided. It does appear that there's some conscripted parcels that have not been paying into the Kent Jet. It has been some time since this was discovered, and we were hoping that they would take this forward and take action on it. However, they haven't. So in discussions with our attorney, he asked if he should reach out to their attorney to begin dialogue in order to take action to have those conscripted parcels go back and recoup funds that have not been paid into the JED. So just looking to bring that forward before you, the attorney did ask us if we wanted him to move forward. And talking with Mike and I, and even the attorney's recommendation is that we do that this money does need to come to us and they should move forward with those companies to recoup any funds that were missed.
I mean, it's only fair to the people that are paying into the JED.
Absolutely.
So my opinion would be yes, we should move forward.
We're good.
That's all I have for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Holly. Okay, Mike.
Thanks. So our first fees year-to-date is $152,584.20. Our new business is fees. Proposed purchase by Marriott was granted variances on temporary fence they installed, working at building and fire departments. Mainly, it's being a complete drywall that the sprinkler system hasn't been approved yet, so.
Because it's all pretty much demoed now. It's ready for them to go in there and redo it.
They were just, we caught them working with sprinkler system without permits. So
They were what?
they were working on a sprinkler system without any building and fire permits.
Fairfield Inn was?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah, so they're obtaining those now. It was adjudicated, so that's in the process. Dollar General was issued a zoning certificate built on Route 18 next to Brimfield Family Restaurant. Construction schedule is to follow. Loam Engineering crews continue construction on the building at Mogador. Mark and I are currently working on the tip for this project. We'll discuss that as we look into the numbers and what we can use that tip for. My initial thought was sidewalks in the town center and on those, but we'll discuss that with you guys as that goes. Private apartment homes on Town Square Drive finished grading and starting utility work. They actually started this week on it. Ken Tire, the roof and sides appear complete. There's some windows still need to be in, but at least the exterior is buttoned up. Kind of development on 536 State Route 43, I should say 43 there this time. Started grading. You see that. I think there's some rumors that was an actual nursing home. That's not. It's,
How many roads?
Development.
How many roads are they going to have in there?
I think there's 4. So
How many condos?
104.
Are those going to be higher end condos or?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be nice condos. It's a new concept. I went up to Willoughby and seen the same thing off of 91. They've been successful, and yeah.
Are they the taller kind or are they?
They're taller.
Oh, like a townhouse.
2-story.
Yeah, they're like 2-story, first floor master suites, so it can appeal to 55 and older as well.
So the condo, you have both the first and the second story, or are your units on both?
Is there a garage on the
It's gonna be
first story?
2-story, so there's gonna be garage, and then you're gonna have
2 more stories?
Main floor master with bathroom, and then 2 bedrooms up with bathroom.
So if you're looking at it, it's like 3 stories.
Yeah. it looks like
Okay.
3.
Yeah, that's what they do a lot down in Atlanta.
Exactly,
Well, Marietta-
Housing is on top of the garage then.
correct.
Okay.
Well, the one
The
in,
first one's gonna be a triplex, and then there's gonna be a quad. So there's, a variety of, some of them are 5, some are 6 together. We're talking about pickleball courts and things like that, so.
Wow. when Marietta, they do those, they're 4 stories. And they all have elevators in them. and nobody uses the elevators. They use it to put their kitchen cleaning equipment in it. So it's like their mobile utility room.
How many units are we looking at?
104.
104. How many could it have been if they went full force on everything?
Oh, it was a lot more. There's 40 acres there, and if you do 12 units per acre max, but they're only building on 14 of the acres, leaving the rest all wetlands. And nature. That was at the request of OBNR.
How many total acres was that property?
40, I believe.
And you're building on
14
14.
acres. And then ODNR and Soil and Water were at our meetings when we had them for variances. And they listened to the public. We had a lot of turnout from the homes behind this property. And they listened to all of them, pretty much appeased everybody there, so.
That's good.
Mhm. They're looking to expand, so they've been looking at the properties, taking it all the way to Sherman. Really been looking at, and exploring that possibility.
But they won't build on that remaining 26 acres.
No.
Just be green,
Just gonna build on 14 of them.
just gonna be green space then, or?
It'd be green space for us.
That's great.
Kevin Tire, oh, I did that one, sorry. VA Cancer and Imaging and Infusion Center started framing the structure. Boy, that thing's moving along just as well as sheets. So it's going very, very well. Joe's Barbecue received phase approval for its building permits. We did talk to Joe. Sounds like he's gonna get going. He's
We
pretty excited
posted
about it.
building design specs for the outside of the building yesterday.
Nice.
So,
Nice. It's a nice looking building.
Yeah.
It should fit the town.
sounds like he's gonna move temporarily for a very short period while you do the initial groundwork and then we'll be back while they're doing construction.
He did, I'll have to talk to him. He should probably seek a variance on his 90-day permit if he's leaving, because that's still counting towards.
So he'd get the new 90, because that new 90 days
He
is
just got one.
January, so then he could apply for the 90.
Oh, if he's not moving until January, that's fine, but I'm just saying he's in the middle of one.
Okay.
And I hate to hit those days count against him if he moves somewhere else.
Okay.
Might be-
Might be worth it. I just know there was a short period, because he needed to be out while they demo that blue house, and then that's it off.
Yeah, there's some asbestos in there. So.
Well, this is what our town center needs. We need some,
If you haven't seen the
Restaurant.
drawing, I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a beautiful building, so.
I mean, now we got another restaurant. I mean, those are nice additions.
Yeah,
I mean, at least keeps people in town.
And Lincoln did the architecture, Woolen did the engineering, and then the tag is in the construction. So.
But you haven't had any date on when the other restaurant's gonna open.
No, I did hear the smokers are in, and they're working on finding stuff as far as signage and things.
Well, that's great.
Dunkin' Donuts, 152 Thomas completed their footers and started framing. Sheets Gas Station continues on the interior and site, concrete and asphalt work. I spoke with her attorney yesterday, she's getting back to me. You see the right in and right out on 43 that's been poured. I'm just waiting for the actual paperwork on the signal. But she thought everything was completed, and they were gonna install a temporary one in time being, but that really didn't make sense to me, so she's clarifying.
They really need a light up there. That's dangerous.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They were talking about temporary, like, I don't know why they would do that. It doesn't make any sense. They just put permanent light, you know.
Because arbs take 120 days.
Oh, is that what it is?
When do you think they're gonna open? You have a guesstimate?
I think this would be before the holidays.
Wow.
I mean, it's moving along really, they're farming their people every day, so. that's
Yeah.
moving along really well. We have 31 new homes so far, and 103 apartment homes permitted to date. Those 103 are behind the elementary school, they started the sewer work there. So. I need board approval on 3 things. From the meeting this morning, first one is trustee approval is needed to update zoning resolution section 311.02B2 to reflect all former GC uses moved to the IC district. This is housekeeping matter.
Okay, I will make that motion.
Second.
For discussion, this was duly advertised, all public hearings were held for this.
Yes.
Any public comments?
No.
And then this went to regional planning, and they were supportive of all the changes.
Yeah, it was illegal.
Thank you.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Second, thank thing I have is trustee approval is needed to update the zoning resolution appendix E to reflect all former GC district uses being moved into the IC district.
Second,
I'll make that motion.
that would make the motion.
You make the motion, okay?
Mhm, I'll second it.
Some questions, all duly advertised. Any comments from the public on this section?
No.
All right, regional planning was supportive of all the changes.
They were.
Thank you.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Last one I have is trustee approval is needed to update zoning resolution appendix E to reflect the district where medical marijuana distributions are conditionally permitted. They're already in the code, we just added to the appendix, so it's another housekeeping.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, and all meetings duly advertised, public hearings held.
Yes.
Any comments on this one?
No.
All right, and zoning or regional planning is okay with all the changes?
They were.
Thank you.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'd just like to comment for remembrance here that the state of Ohio, we voted to do this. And this is our way of meeting those requirements.
Okay, thank you. Dave,
Yeah, just a few updates. We started digging foundations at the cemetery for our fall pour. We fixed some potholes with some coal mitts we had left over from Brimfest. We replaced the culvert pipe on Clearfield, and we're getting ready to start going through all of our plow equipment, getting ready for winter. Checking hoses, cylinders, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's all I got.
that's it? Wow. Everyone knows you have the big truck now, your new truck.
Oh,
I went and took a ride in it. It's a monster. A monster. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Okay, thanks, Dave. Cassie,
Hi, good morning.
good morning.
So the first update, I wanted to have some discussion about the hometown Christmas event. In the past couple meetings, we had discussed an event layout for this. And before we start advertising, I just want to clarify how we want to proceed with that. I believe what we had been discussing was starting the event at the Kelso House, moving to the library, walking behind, and going up to the town hall. I wanted to see if that was still your intent, and if that's how we wanted to proceed. I did have some, I spoke with SMC Light Displays, and they had some proposals for additional lighting in addition to the 16,700 we had approved for that, because their concern was if we did do that long of a path, that we wouldn't have enough lighting to cover that area, so.
I mean, my one thought, I did talk to Marcus yesterday, and I think Nick's talked to Marcus too.
yes.
That's still a construction zone. I personally don't, my personal opinion is that we maybe should avoid it. Because I went back there, walked, I didn't think I told you. I told you. It's just still a construction zone. We got a big pile of stuff. We got construction material. I mean, we got stuff that from the PD or the fire department that's still, I think we probably should, just my opinion, that we should probably not do a trail through there yet.
For the back area? Yeah.
So,
I mean, I was hoping we'd have a sidewalk in there one of these days, but
yeah, we have 2025,
Yeah.
even if it's just a gravel walking path.
yeah, but we're just not set for that right now.
So the question that exists is that SMC has not proposed a quote at $16,000 level yet for us. We've approved $16,000, talking with him last night via text. If that's the action we're gonna go with, Cassie, you would need to follow up with him today, try to get those pieces determined so that we can sign that agreement, because he really needs to get under contract sooner than later, because he has other projects sitting out there. If we were to do the 16,000, that's only gonna give us enough money to do the lighting around the administration building. So the question before the board for this is gonna be, are we gonna light anything around the library? Are we gonna light anything at the Kelso House? If not, we can stay at that $16,000 mark and reconsider next year. If we wanna do additional lighting, that 16,000 potentially becomes that 31,000.
Yes.
So that's the question that exists. We've already approved the 16,000, we can sit there and move on, or we can make a decision to.
When he gave us that quote for 16,000, did that include the Kelso and the library too, or was
He's
it?
not giving us a quote for 16.
So I did discuss that contract for the 16,700, and he wanted to see that what decision was made today, because he didn't want to write up that contract if you were going to proceed with a different contract. I'd also like to point out that 30,000 is minus the 16,700 that was already approved.
Well,
So
where'd the
an
30,000,
additional 30.
where'd the 30,000 figure come from?
There should be a quote in your packet,
Yes.
of some additional light displays.
Cassie, I believe we looked at that and it was not separate from the 30. If you recall, we re-looked at it and it was 30 total.
I mean, is it,
Yeah, because
It was
he's
not-
never given a quote, he never assumed that the 16,000 from my conversation with him was played into this. It was, he quoted us 3 ways that we could do the council house and the admin building. So we're at 30,000, 40, or 50,000, depending on how many pieces we add in there. If we want to just stay at the 16,000 we paid last year, he'd have to draw up a new quote, but he didn't want to put the effort into drawing up a new quote when he's already put about 16 hours into this project and we haven't signed a contract yet.
Sure.
So we have to decide as a board, before we can talk numbers really, is where do we want the lights at? Are we paying for lights at the council house, or are we just leaving lights at the town hall? And if we pay for them at the council house, do we gotta look at the legality options of that, because we're no longer holding the event there?
well, we definitely have to make a decision one way or another, because the council is gonna have to do some decorating themselves.
Well, SMC wants a decision today too, because if not, he has to move on, right? He's got a business, we can't.
Oh, I understand, yeah. I mean, is it, are we that worried about the library?
Well, the library does have lights. If you guys recall, you did approve the lights, just the lights on the building there. So the library will have lights around the roof lines.
Well, if we would discuss with Marcus, I mean, is there any way, because we do have a smaller footprint up there at the town hall. And if we're not gonna put it in the back, because it's still an active construction site, couldn't he just divide them up a little bit more? I mean, I don't know. I'm like Nick, we gotta make a decision.
Well, and I think part of the concern that we've talked about is getting the prosecutor's office to look at, when we were doing the event at the council house, we were able to justify spending dollars at the council house because we were holding the event there. By not holding the event there, now it's us donating money to a nonprofit. And it's taxpayer money, can we do that? If so, maybe not, there's a very gray area.
Well, because
there that we have to work
did,
through.
did you get the email from Chad? I had him forward.
I've not seen the email from Chad, but I did have a conversation with Brett Benz, the assistant prosecutor, and that he sent an email to me that I passed to Holly, and there were some concerns about those contractual pieces.
Right, and then the one from Chad, and I remember back when we did it, I think it did go through the prosecutor, so there's mix up somewhere. Because now we have 2 opinions that don't mesh.
Right.
So I did send that on to the prosecutor's office, and what Chad said in his email is really the prosecutor, his decision stands. So I did forward that on to the prosecutor's office. I did follow up yesterday and asked if he had any additional follow-up. But at this point, we are getting short on time, where if you guys wanted to ensure there's lighting at Kelso, at this point, I believe, based on the information we have from the prosecutor's office, we would have to donate the money to Kelso, and then they would have to secure it.
I think at this point, we just, I mean, I don't want to ever pull the legs out under the Kelso, but since we have varying opinions, I think maybe we ought to just stick with the town hall area right now until we can at least I don't want to do something that's wrong.
Yeah, and I think we can replan for next year. Talking with SMC, they'd like to have this discussion in June next year to really formalize the plan by August 1st before the board, so that we could really dig through this, not be at the last minute if we decide to do additional lighting. I'm of the opinion that we just stick with the $16,000 for this year that's been approved, we move on with it, we like the town hall, and then we'll reevaluate in 2025.
Yeah, and somehow, I mean, I don't know if, I
Well, I
hate to.
have an opinion. True story. Years ago, we had our first police chief here in Brimfield in '86. And he was an officer for a few years. He loved baseball. So what had happened is he was using the gun for radar to clock the boys as they would play baseball to let them know how fast they were hitting. No good deed goes unpunished, and we fired him for using township property on the residents' money or whatever on that. So I'm looking at that. And then another time, I've just been in office in '94, and I was down at the garage, here was this beautiful boulder. I mean, it was only about this big. I thought, boy, that chick, you were with me that day. And here's this beautiful boulder there. And I said, boy, that looks so nice in my front yard. And do you know what they told me? I could not have that boulder because that was township property. So I'm thinking of those two. Oh, I don't have the boulder. So I was looking, that came back to me. And then I'm thinking, well, here we are. And the Kelso House is a nonprofit, which is okay. But we're not to use, that was pounded in me so strong that we are not to use any residents' taxpayers' money for any other thing other than just the township. So I wanted to tell you those stories so I don't forget them. But I just want to do the right thing and I want to protect the residents. And as far as spending $50,000 or $30,000 for a lighting system, I would rather take that money and put it toward an account to build a new road department buildings down there. And that's my opinion.
I think we're just too late in the game to really come up with that to a lot upscale. So once again, I think we stick with the 16,000. Have a discussion next year, but we have other projects that I think are on.
Well, for 16,000, I imagine Lucas would make a nice, or Marcus would make a nice display.
Oh, yeah. That's,
So-
that's the amount that we approved last year, and his display was beautiful, so.
Yeah, he did a
It
great,
was.
he
It
did
was
a
really
great
nice
job.
what we
So.
did.
I think it's important to note though, because I do get some feedback from residents about, why do we spend 16,000? Why don't we buy the equipment and maintain it ourselves? And after having a discussion and being really kind of educated from Marcus on this, I do see the value in renting versus owning. Year one, most displays, 50% of the displays fail and need repairs. That's time and effort we have to call Dave out of the field to do. Then we have storage of it. If we cold store it, we have to deal with mice and damage to it between the year, where he's actually climate control storing this stuff. And that's part of baked into this, that storage and that maintenance. So there's additional costs beyond just buying the pieces that I think we have to take into consideration. And then there's square footage. We don't have enough space as it is. I mean, Dave's dying over here for somewhere to put his trucks. So if I gotta take up more of his truck parking for lights, it's just
Oh, he
actually not.
He totally educated me because, he said at one point you wanted to start buying, when you wanted to buy a piece a year,
Yeah.
just not with chipmunks and mice.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. And he said lifelong lights are not lifelong lights.
And there's a lot of customization that happens that he does, so the upfront costs a little more sometimes, and then it gets cheaper as the years go on. But I think it's an education piece, and we all can learn from that. So I think renting at 16,000 is the best financial decision for our community.
Okay. So you're making a motion?
The motion's already out there, it's already been approved,
Okay.
so we don't need to do another motion. We've already.
So you're
signed the
just gonna
purchase order.
follow up with him?
Sure.
So you just need to follow up today with Marcus to say, we have 16,000, let's build a quote off of this, let's build a plan off of this, move on. But I would ask that we start this discussion in June next year. We can mark our calendars and knock this out early.
Absolutely. And just to clarify, so the 16,700 will be decorating the town green and also the front of the building along 43?
Yep.
Okay.
I think I don't know what the board thinks about this, if we have some money left in there, he talked about wrapping some of the trees
Mhm.
behind the library. I think that might look nice too, depending on how that display layout works out.
Well, that is part of our property, so.
Yeah, so I think we leave that in your hands, Cassie, try to cover that area as best as you can, with the focus being town center. And then we used to do an official turn on of the lights at the Christmas event, so I don't know if we can do that too. Usually after Santa comes and everybody gets with Santa, we all would go outside and turn the lights on.
Yes, I have a picture of you and I at the gazebo doing that 2 years ago, so yes.
So yeah, if we could bring that back as part of this, I think that would be nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
And then just some updates, the community center siding project is complete. I think it looks very nice, they did a great job.
Who's gonna put the signs back up?
Good question. That would be, I'm looking at you, Dave.
They took them down,
That would-
don't throw them back up.
That would probably be our responsibility, I would assume.
Yeah, because they're just sitting over there.
Yeah.
If you would,
And then the fence is being moved at the town center fields. I drove by yesterday, it looks about halfway done, so
Good.
I'm sure he'll have that finished pretty soon.
how's the grass look?
It looks very good. I know I just got a message from Portage Turf that they will be doing their last, their application for the season. Their fertilizer and winter application, I believe, this week, so.
Okay.
And then the AED cabinets and AEDs have been ordered. The cabinets have arrived. The AEDs may take up to 8 weeks to arrive. So that is in progress.
Are we gonna hold those until spring to put them in now, just with the cold weather as
You know-
upcoming games?
I don't think there'd be an issue with that since the fields are not in use.
I would say to put them out with the cold weather.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
And now that comes from a grant from Cleveland Clinic?
It does, yes.
How
They
much
sponsored this.
was that?
Oh, I believe it was $5,700.
5,700?
Yes.
I just bring that up because I want anybody that's listening to know where that money's coming from to do that.
Yes, and also we purchased those because of Ohio House Bill 47 requires us to have AEDs in public parks where there are athletic fields. So that puts us in compliance with that. McGuire Park driveway update. This week they are doing survey work and erosion control to prepare for construction beginning on November 4th, so next week, weather permitting. So excited to see that happen. And then a little event update. We attended 2 trunk or treat events. On the 19th, we attended the Falcon Fall Frenzy at Field Middle School. We engaged quite a bit of people there. I'm waiting for the final tally of how many people, but I would estimate about 500 to 600 people were there. And then on the 20th, we were invited to attend the Greater Autism Society and Portage Park District's events, treats on the trail at Trail Lake Park. And we had 217 attendees there.
Ooh, wonderful.
So that was a great opportunity to partner with them. New
Uh,
business, oh, sorry. go ahead.
When I saw this trail, a guy that used to hunt and fish out there wanted to know if we're continuing the trail that goes around the lake. And I didn't know how to answer that, but isn't part of the lake on somebody else's property?
McGuire Park?
Yeah,
Yes, part of that lake, we own about 3/4 of it. The other quarter of it, part of it's owned by City of Talmadge and part of it's privately owned.
okay, yeah, so because I told him I didn't think there was a trail that went all the way around.
There is not. Hannah and I have climbed over some logs to go over to that other side, but there is no trail that goes along that back end.
Okay, well, I didn't know what to tell him.
There's potential for maybe a trail to go around part of that, but it would take,
Yeah, but not into someone's backyard.
no.
Right, because you're gonna have not in my backyard.
No, if we had some sort of turnaround point where there was like a overlook or something like that, maybe, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I was on it the one time. All I remember is hearing all the trucks going by.
Mhm.
Ooh, yep. Okay, thank you.
New business, we have some proposed 2025 event dates. So Saturday, May 17th, we'll be doing our spring cleanup event again. Saturday, June 14th, we will have our Touch a Truck event. The dates for Brimfest are still to be determined.
We need to get that one figured out soon.
Yes, yeah. Do we want to discuss that at the next meeting?
Well, at the last meeting, we directed to reach out to fair ride companies. How's that process going?
I reached out to Bates, Kissel, and one other, and I have not heard anything back. And usually around this time, they're wrapping up for the season, and I think they take a little bit of time off before they start answering requests again. But I can reach out again before next meeting and see if I can get an answer.
That was the big piece that we're waiting on the dates, because we'd like to bring those fair rides back.
Yeah.
I did talk with one person that, their family works in the industry. They said a 2-day might be a little more difficult to land a contract for. It may need to be a 3-day contract.
Sure.
But I would look at those options and bring them back to the board.
Yeah, and that was the issue that I've run into a few years before. They're looking for more, a lot of those companies are looking for week-long events or larger events like county fairs and things like that, so.
But even I personally would consider a 3-day event if I brought the rides back, because I think the attendance would be there.
Sure.
So see what options they have to bring to us.
Yeah, even if they would stay on a Sunday, I mean, you don't have to have all the vendors there, but at least you'd have the rides still.
Or even if it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you open it up Thursday night and Friday night, and we run all day Saturday. So I think those are some options.
Yeah, but I
Because we
agree.
used to do the 3-day, and I think that the attendance would be much higher if the rides were there.
And
Yeah, because
then-
you need to probably get that really finalized quick.
Yes,
'cause we're gonna-
yes, we do. Yeah, because that also has bearing on some of our summer events, our camps and concerts and that kind of thing, so.
So I guess you should probably let them know that we'd be open to possibly a 3-day event.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll get better response that way too.
Yeah. Yep. And then Sunday, November 2nd, we will have our pumpkin roll event. And then Sunday, November 30th would be hometown Christmas. We always do that the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Now, are we doing a pumpkin roll
We are doing pumpkin roll this weekend, yes.
Okay.
And then.
at the park, Cranberry Creek?
Cranberry Creek,
Okay.
yes. And then, December 31st, we will have New Year's Eve. We're gonna do that program for the first time this year, and depending on how well that goes, we're planning on doing it again next year, so. We are also working on a spring community event. We are working out some details, but I will hopefully bring that to you next meeting.
Can you follow up with Chief Mullally on that, just because I don't want to contradict with his dates that he's looking at for senior luncheon, because he's gonna bring that back in the spring.
Sure.
So just so we don't cross there.
Yep. And then Parks Maps, I have a meeting with Regional Planning this afternoon to discuss print and interactive virtual Parks Maps. I don't know if you guys recall that Regional Planning made those really nice interactive maps a few years ago where you're able to click on all the amenities throughout Portage County. And he's thinking about possibly working on something for us in that same vein where people would have virtual access to see all the features of our parks. And then also, he said, I can identify species in the parks that people might want to see, trees, flowers, that kind of thing, and have those available. But first, we'll be discussing just print maps to have those ready, and then in the future, looking into those more interactive maps. And then I've been working on some lake management at McGuire Park. I've been in contact with ODNR and lake doctors, who's currently doing the maintenance on our lake, to begin preparations for fishing and kayaking in the McGuire Park Lake Mildred. I know as we get that driveway put in, we're gonna start thinking about when we're gonna open that park, so I wanna make sure it's ready for visitors.
Well, I think once they see the driveway and it's gonna be open.
Yes, it will.
Did we just say in previous discussions about this lake, part of it is on private property?
Correct.
Are we gonna run into kayaking issues where people are kayaking into their waterway? How does that work? How are we gonna deal with that?
Yeah, we had discussed that. There's ways that you can put barriers up. We could definitely put some signage even in the middle of the lake that says, do not cross this point. And also there's kind of a natural barrier there. There's a lot of plants and logs and things that would prevent somebody from launching a kayak from those private properties and from getting over there. So,
Yeah, in Florida, I've seen that where they have these big poles just driven into the ground. They got a simple side that's, so,
I just wanna make sure we're not crossing the barrier with that private property.
right.
yes. And when
And then with that said, if Talmadge owns part of it, do we just need a mutual agreement with them to use their section of that?
Yeah.
To expand that park opportunity?
I think it's only a couple homes. It's not a
I
lot.
think
It's
it's
not,
2 or 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
2 or
many.
3, and then the city of Talmadge owns that section that goes along the highway, and part of that section.
well, maybe sometime you could get us a little map so the board can see. It's a little
Yes, we
easier.
can map it out and talk about it and just make sure that we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, and I can actually send to you. We should already have that information. When Campbell and Associates did our initial survey, I made sure they surveyed the lake as well. So we should have that property survey. I know we do.
And I had the chance to talk to one of those guys that works at Lake Doctors, and he said the area really responded well to the treatment.
Yes, and we had a conversation with them yesterday, 2 days ago. And they were just saying what a wonderful property it is, and they really think there's some good opportunity. ODNR have been discussing fish stocking, how we need to go about that, and they recommended doing some fish surveys to see what's already in there, see what kind of habitat we have, and then lake doctors would be looking at doing some evaluation of things like dissolved oxygen and nitrogen levels and things to make sure that the lake is not prone to harmful algal blooms or anything like that.
Yeah, they seem to think there's a lot of fish in there.
Yes, I believe there was an unofficial fish survey done in that lake. And who found quite a few? Was it bluegill that you found?
Sunfish.
Yeah, sunfish. Okay, so I know there's a
Anything
healthy
else?
sunfish population.
That's all we can catch.
No catfish.
I mean, we see.
Yes.
No, we couldn't get into it. There's too much junk in the bottom. We couldn't get a hold of it.
Yes, and that was a few years ago, and I know since we've been doing the muck biotics as part of our regular maintenance there.
And that's going to take a couple years.
Yeah, so it's probably better than when you did it a few years ago, so.
About 31 of them. We put them back.
Okay, so that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Joe.
I have nothing for the board this week other than.
Joe, that's twice now. You had nothing.
I've been focusing on getting the admin building. I've completed as much as I can get done before the building is ours. So I've done, we're ready, as far as I can, we are ready to move into the building from a technology standpoint.
You haven't started sneaking boxes over there yet?
Not stuff, there's tools and wiring, the things I need, but I have the network is working in the building, I have tested. I already have a few phones over there to prepare for zoning. Zoning is currently without an office, they are working from home, so they're gonna be the first targeted department to move. So I've already got Mike and Jendy's phone already in their office and tested. So I've been doing as much as I can prep work before the building becomes ours. If you've been in the building, you may have noticed I've already got TV mounts up. I've got all the wiring I can in that main room done before the dais gets installed. So I've been spending the last 2 weeks in that building, either running wire, terminating wire, and testing wire to make sure that as soon as we get that green light, we're able to utilize the building to its capacity. I need to go check today, but I believe we've got a door access system installed. And remind me if I don't forget, I have the fobs for you guys. I keep forgetting to give them to you. But yeah, we have the door access system good to go. I'm gonna check today to make sure it is active and start testing that. But that's really the last piece I have before we're able to move in, is making sure the building is secure.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for getting that done. Okay, cemetery. We signed some deeds. Fiscal office, John's not here.
Looks like he was looking for
Approval.
approval to accept appropriations. So this just would allow us, he must have got $106,000 in. If we appropriate it, he takes it in, but we can't spend it till it's appropriated.
Right. You gonna make that motion?
So I'll make a motion to approve the appropriations to the general fund in the amount of $106,000.
I will second that.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
And then I'll make a motion to approve additional appropriations to the Town Major Maintenance and Improvement Fund 2193 in the amount of $98,000. So that's additional funds that came in for maintenance and improvement.
Second.
Okay,
We'll call Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
yes. Okay,
And we have
we have an executive session.
anything for, do we do the water first?
Okay, well, let's go ahead and adjourn to an executive session. It will be this date, 10:30. Trustee Mike Kostensky moved to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121-22G, for the purpose of considering the following matters: compensation of a public employee or official. I'll need a second on that.
Second?
Okay, we will need roll call.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes,
You guys know.
I'll be up there in 5 minutes at the little boys' room. We're back from executive session and there's no action.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
Either one can second that.
Second, Nick,
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
And Mike.
Yes.
Yes.
But 9.